Victor,
Steffi.
like we moved, obviously, we are here in our new studio, right? Like, and here's our new office, and we moved, and so we are getting used to this new neighborhood.
Yes.
And today I rediscovered, because I'm also living close here, a shop. There is a Japanese toilet shop.
Oh, yeah.
Next corner.
Is it Gerber? No, it's a Gerber. Gerber's
No,
salty.
it's Toto.
Toto. Oh, really? Toto?
Yeah, they have
Like the
Toto toilets.
All right.
And they have all the blows and whistles.
All the blows and whistles. All of them.
All of them.
All the blows and whistles in the toilet. You know that they have blows and whistles in the toilets.
It was actually not on purpose. I wanted to make a different joke, but yeah, exactly.
By the way, it's bells and whistles. Not blows. It's not blows and whistles.
Okay, yeah, I'm not native.
Wow. Wow Happens with Stephanie Hutchins and Victor Kunze.
Hi everybody and welcome to the latest episode. Today we're going to talk about giant YouTube thumbnails, underestimating the work that goes into a video production, and the pacing in videos in general, and if faster is actually better, or maybe if there's other things that you can do, as well as some housekeeping things, 3D housekeeping things, and some media playback improvements you can do for your home cinema.
Let's start with our first topic. Did you hear the great news from yesterday evening about YouTube thumbnails?
No, actually not.
YouTube thumbnails arrived in the current century, basically. They can be more than 2 MB big now.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? They can be up to 50 MB so that you can 50 that you can upload a 4K thumbnail for your video.
Oh.
Because until now it was limited to 1080 and 2 megabyte, and now it's 50.
I think this, like the first thought that comes to my mind is that they're preparing for the redesign on the TV.
Yeah, clearly.
To have that full screen sort of hero banner kind of thingy that Netflix used to have. I think Netflix also has a redesign. It looks different now.
Yeah, it looks different now, but it still has, like, the Netflix app on the TV. The problem is that it always hurries me that I need to select, because I don't want that it starts playing any sound. I hate this.
This is the
like,
worst.
Netflix, what is this?
When I sit there and I have to wait before we start the movie, I keep flipping around just so that nothing happens. Like, oh, I have to do something, otherwise it starts the thing.
Yeah, actually, I stay in the user selection menu, which I always have to do. Why? But it's the same on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
Why do I need to select the user? There is only one user in this app registered.
In their perfect world, probably they think, you live with many people, and that is like a very social interaction, and everybody has a choice at the beginning.
Yeah, but then use the thing from Apple.
Oh, yeah. But they only launched that in the last
3 years ago?
3 years ago?
I don't know,
Okay,
whatever. But I am so annoyed by the Netflix app. And yes, but coming back to the YouTube app,
the actual topic.
Clearly they want to increase the quality of the thumbnails.
All right.
And it's now 50 MB. And on a different note, so they also announced that they now that you can, as a creator, you can control how much, if you want AI upscaling of your old videos or not.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was some weeks ago, there was a controversy that some shorts got upscaled and the details were changed. I don't know if this is fixed with that, but now they said, hey, your old videos, which are not 1080, you can control if they are upscaled or not. And also as a viewer, you can choose if you want to have the upscaled version or not.
If you as a creator deactivate it, can you as a user say I want it?
I don't know, but I guess not.
Okay.
But if you have the option to choose, probably.
All right.
But if this is like all the other settings on the YouTube player, it will not remember whatever you want, and it will be really terrible. I'm really happy that a lot of videos have subtitles, But why do I need to deactivate subtitles every time?
Aren't they off for you?
No, they're always on. Like if they have subtitles, right? Like not the auto-generated. If subtitles
Yeah,
are uploaded, they are always on. It's so annoying. And I don't know how to deactivate it.
I don't have that. Maybe it's in your profile settings.
Really?
I have no idea. I don't have subtitles with my videos, so I don't know.
Okay, maybe we stop the recording here and I check if I can deactivate the subtitles. No, but these are the news from this week from YouTube.
I'm a little embarrassed that there's a person who is planning on uploading his latest YouTube video on Sunday. Didn't hear about this at all.
You heard it first here.
But yeah, it's good that I'm listening to this podcast. It's I get informed about the latest news in tech. But that's really cool because it takes one step out of my process because I have to
Tiny MPG,
every
PNG.
exactly.
Yeah,
And since you can upload up to 3, I have to do all 3, and well, it's not a lot of work, right? But still.
There's an old version of the tiny PNG app that just works super easily, and I can send you this, and you just drag and drop, and it replaces.
You know, you can do that natively in macOS, right?
Oh.
You can just select the image. You can go right click. Then I think it's advanced or quick actions. I think you can select convert image, and then you can select what kind of image format and the size. And you
Yeah,
can
but
batch do that.
okay.
This is actually really cool. I didn't know about this like half a year ago. I was like, what? This is built in. Plus, did you know that in macOS as well you can do batch renaming?
Yes, this I knew, but the quick action for the PNG, can you say that it's lossless?
I
You
don't think
see?
so. I think it's
Yes.
PNG, JPEG, and
Yeah, but this is
maybe
not lossless.
Heath. Is it Heath?
I don't know how to pronounce this. I know that you don't say
Is this a Hawk situation? Hoog?
Hawk.
Hawk?
No.
For our regular viewers, this is a ongoing joke. With regular viewers, I mean the ones who watched last episode, which was probably the first one.
No, the second one in the third episode.
You don't know that?
Yeah, you're
This
right.
might be the first one.
Okay, what happened in your week?
Yeah, I made a video for the company actually, like for us, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And I grossly underestimated the work once again.
Yes, I remember.
I find it funny that after making videos for so many years, also in like when I do my YouTube videos, there's like literally every single time when like the rough cut exists, I'm like, okay, this shouldn't take too much longer. I think I can get this done in like 3 or 4 hours. And then I spent like 8, 9 hours and I sit there at like midnight or 1 a.m. like, this is nowhere near to be finished. Like, what happened? And it's just fascinating how like I almost fell there. How all these tiny little details that you adjust, that they take so much time. Like it's fascinating. It just blows my mind every time that I keep underestimating the amount of work that goes into these videos. It's crazy.
It's like the Pareto's principle, right?
What is that?
The 80-20,
Oh
where
yeah,
80%
yeah.
take 20% of the time and the last 20% take 80% of the time.
It is exactly that. It's super annoying. You think you're finished, but you're not.
And you're just not.
You're just not.
You're
And the
just not.
worst part about this is like, you know, when you're not in the process, right, and you see that version, and then like 12 hours later you see the final version, you're gonna ask, so what changed? What was all? Is it much different? I can't tell, right? And then when you're the person who made the video, you're like, oh, you're insane. Everything changed.
Yeah, there's maybe the trick to be happy with 80%.
Yeah, but yeah, the one that I did last week, that had to be like, it benefited from the final 20% a lot. Yeah.
It's not only in video, right? It's like basically everywhere. Like we did a lot of software development, project management of this, and hey, it looks already quite good. And then
You have to
3
refactor and
years
clean it
later,
up. Yeah.
I ask you, like, what takes actually so long? Like, is it to think about what to do, or is it basically whatever you have decided to do this at all positions in the video?
The latter thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that, depending on the video, you don't have like I have to do this at for every clip. Like there are processes like in DaVinci Resolve, you can create groups, and usually all the clips that belong to each other are in a group, and apply LUTs or whatever, or grading changes to the group, and it applies to all of them. But it's a German word which I don't know how to say it in English, Feinschliff, like the polishing touches,
Polishing touches, yeah.
touches, like the cherry on top, right? That really takes a lot of time. And like the probably the reason why I underestimate it so much is that even like when like you're asking me what takes so much time, I don't know. It's just you do it, you start working on it, and then suddenly it's 6 hours later and you're at the end of the timeline, okay, what just happened? Right?
I think this is a great moment to come to our wow dive of the week. Victor, you proposed the pacing in videos. And I'm wondering, what do you actually mean?
Well, I mean the pacing of videos.
Okay, thank you, dear audience. Have a nice week.
See you next time. No, a couple of years ago, there was a trend on YouTube, especially where they said like you should cut every, I don't know, 5 seconds or something like this to grab people's attention. And because if the image changes all the time, people will be like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And they won't look away. But at the same time, if you look at movies sometimes have very long shots and everybody is laser focused on the screen because unless it's one
Really
battle after
boring.
another and you are watching it, where you're like, no, this is boring as hell. But and I think it's a very interesting thing to think about. Like, I personally don't think that you need to make cuts. Like, you can do it. It's a cheap trick, right? It sometimes works, but it also exhausts the viewer because you're constantly changing the frame. You get overwhelmed with all the sensory of everything changing all the time. But I wanted to ask you what your opinion about this is, and like you want to keep people's attention, but how do you get that without resorting to cheap tricks?
I think first of all, you need to have content that is actually interesting to people. And then like this content probably gives you a pace. Or the people who talk, they give you a pace, and or the action gives you a pace. And I think to cite Christian, our video editor, like, yeah, if you have like a 2-hour movie, then you can't cut every 5 seconds because people get mad at you.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe if you have like a 30-second short or TikTok video, yeah, then you maybe need to do this because the temptation also to move away is so fast.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I think first of all, it comes from the content and the presentation of the content to decide how much or how fast this video needs to feel. And if we have now here like a podcast conversation, like I don't know how much we will cut here, or what is the cadence or the rhythm we have here. But if we would do a commercial or something, we obviously would cut faster. So I think it depends very much on the goal of the video. And then we have this aspect of like what is pacing? Like,
it's the rhythm of a movie, no?
Is it the rhythm? Is it in AI you would say information amount per token? I think so. How dense is the information you give? Is it like a distraction? Is it how much do you need to actually distract from what is actually happening? Maybe I don't get it. What is pacing? You vote faster equals better.
There's a question actually. Does it have a question mark?
Yes,
it does have a question mark. Yeah, that's the assumption, right? That faster better, right? Because that's what they sold a couple of years ago. Like, you do fast cuts, and it was all over the place, and the videos became actually quite horrific to watch, right? I think it's an interesting question that you're asking. What is pacing actually? And like, is pacing for you where the cuts are? Because I don't think so. Like, the pacing for me is like the feel of how a video or a movie is, right? And that is goes beyond cuts. It's just how even a scene, a one long take can have pacing. If we just take a very simple example, do people in that long shot walk fast or slow? Is a lot of things happening, like what right after another one, or it's just one person walking across, I don't know, the street? It's a slow-paced scene. It's a fast-paced scene, right? That's for me is pacing, and the cuts are sort of like if you're thinking if you're thinking in terms of music, you have the bars, right? The what is it called? Like if you have like 4/4, you have like
I don't know.
I should know this.
Yeah, you are the one who
I'm not
has.
a theoretical. I definitely not. I'm not a musician in general, but like you have like the
He's learning guitar for 10 years.
yeah, learning is very very bold and fat there. But you have like the bars, right? And you have the notes in between, right? And for me, the bars are where the cuts are, and the notes inside are what's happening inside of the scene. And you can have like a lot of eights, very fast-paced music, or you can have very slow-paced music in there. But the cuts are still the same, right? So that for me is the pacing, it's the tempo of the movie, right? That's the tempo. Is it allegro? Allegro? No, wait. Was it allegro? No.
I don't
I know
know.
piano is slow. Yeah, I hope my guitar teacher doesn't watch this. This is very bad.
I think it depends very much on the purpose of the video, right?
Of
Like,
course,
so
yeah.
the purpose and like the length, the overall length of it, and also the density of information you need to no, you want to communicate.
Yeah.
But you also wrote here the FOMO aspect.
Yeah.
But what like FOMO is fear of missing out. So what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that sometimes you have the requirement of the people making the video, they want to jam in as much information as possible because they think like, oh, I need to communicate everything within the time I have. And you completely, like in the end, you communicate absolutely nothing because people are like, whoa, 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 this is too much. And I always like to take the example with, we don't have these in Switzerland, but in the US, I think you have greeters like in Walmart where you come in and then the people greet you. You don't know? You know? Let's say you go to a harvest festival here in Switzerland. Like what is it called? Ulma? Ulma? Is it Ulma?
Olma.
The one with the sausage?
That's
I've never
Olma.
been there. You have all those booths
You
of
know,
people
you have the piglet one there.
where the little pigs run around.
Mhm.
Oh, and then you eat the winner.
Kind of.
It's like the Mayan thing, right? They also killed the ones who, or sacrificed the ones that won. So right, if you go like to one of those harvest festivals, right, like the Olma kind of thing, right? You have those booths who try to sell you stuff, right? Like the latest in kitchen gadgets, right? And I feel like if you want people who try to jam as much information as possible into a video, are like those salespeople who try to really convince you that this new item to cut apples is like the absolute craziest beep in the universe, and they can do everything, and they shout at you constantly, and as you walk past the booth, they will follow along with you. They walk inside of their booth with their little thingy in their hair, like, oh, and that's just too much, right? I get turned off by this kind of stuff. And this kind of same thing when you have a video where you just try too much at once. Like, people need to have time to digest information, especially in terms of what kind of information it is. If it's highly technical, like, it's very difficult to absorb all of this stuff, especially if you're not very proficient in that topic. And obviously it depends also on your target audience, like, what is it that you're talking about and who are the people you're trying to target. If they are very versed in the information and already have a lot of background knowledge on this, yeah, you can put in more information. But if it's like a basic, like an explainer video, a technical explainer video, slow down, one step after another, try to communicate as clear as possible, as simple as possible, and then they can select the next video when they have time, when that information is sunk in. And I think that's also something that you need to be very aware of. And yeah, you don't overwhelm the viewers with information. And don't be scared to not give them everything. Sometimes not giving them everything is actually a good thing. They might follow up. They want to learn more. In the end, they will spend more time with you. That's what you want, right? You want to have that the viewer spends more time with you. And if you try to jam everything into one, you get nothing, right?
I think there's also the problem of that a lot of people think that other people don't have any attention span anymore.
That's not true.
Exactly. That's completely not true. Right? Like we are good in selecting what we give attention to, but we have still a long attention span, because otherwise no one would binge watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you watch for 8 hours a complete season of something. How would you do this if you have no attention? And so, like what you just said is actually really important, right? You don't need to cramp everything into a short time. As long as you do it entertaining and it's fun to watch and people learn something and they are happy to watch it, then they will watch more. And with cramping everything together, you actually probably do exactly the opposite.
Whenever I hear stories like this or talk about this topic, I always remember one time when I was in high school, or in Swiss, in Sekundar or Gymnasium, right? And we
You have
were,
gymnasium? Whatever.
it's
Okay.
our gym is, and it's also different between the cantons. Like in Zurich, it was Gimi, which it was, I think in Aargau, it's like, was it Conti? I don't know. Anyway, we were a class which, or like at the end of, just before the summer break, all the kids are already like halfway in the mode, I want to go after the next 2 hours, I'm off for 5 weeks, right? Everybody was already super crazed, high on sugar. There was absolutely no way that the classroom could be sort of like silenced, right? And as a final thingy before the holidays, there was like, let's watch a movie, right? And I don't know why, but for some reason, I brought Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli, which is an anime, right? And animes today, they're much more popular than back then, but I think maybe 2/3 of the classroom never saw an anime, like Japanese animation. So bringing a cartoon to like high school kids and whatnot, I don't know, it's just not like the greatest combination that you could think of. And the class was, as I said, already very sort of like energetic and wanted to leave the building as soon as possible. But when that movie started, it was silence. In the first 10, 15 minutes, nobody said anything anymore because everybody was glued. Everybody's eyeballs were glued onto the screen. And for me, that was a moment where I realized, look how powerful like a properly composed, paced piece of work can be to grab people's attentions. And these are kids before the summer break. They had no desire to remain any minute longer in the building that they had to. And everybody stayed and finished that movie and thought like, oh, that was actually pretty cool. And if you do a good movie, a good video, you can get people's attention, but it's hard work.
But I like.
You don't like that story.
No, I like this story, and I think like if you once hooked people, it's also true. But you need to hook people, because the difference between your school class is at the beginning they had to be there, and then
Yeah, that's true.
watching this movie is a great alternative to sitting there and just screaming around.
Yeah, but we also watched other movies during other times, and people did not pay attention. They were just like,
Exactly, but what I mean is like in the age of internet, or sounds like old grandma is talking about the internet. But in our current media environment, like the next video is like basically a swipe away.
yeah,
And this you need to somehow get the attention at the beginning. And once you have it, it's fine.
yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
people continue watching also, because if you do it good, they like it. But at the beginning, you need to think about, do I maybe need to do it in a different pace? Like, for example, Diary of a CEO. Stephen, what is his name? Bennett, I think. Like, the intro is very fast paced. And then the conversation is actually very, very slow.
Yeah.
And, but you need the intro to actually.
You need to hook.
You need to hook.
Yeah.
And the hook maybe needs to be faster.
Yeah. That's true. Absolutely. Right. Let's wrap up this topic, right? So pacing of videos, it depends on who the video is for, right? That's what we learned, right? And it doesn't have to be fast. It has maybe to hook people, it has to be fast. But when the video really starts, it should have the appropriate pacing for what it is and who it needs to target for. And trying to jam in all the information into a single video is not a good idea. Maybe even don't release all the information at once. Make the people come to you because they want to learn more. Good thing, right? So don't FOMO the videos. Do it within time. Respect the users and attention span. It is still there. You just have to work for it.
Yeah, exactly. Great summary. And
Thank
that brings me to our wows of the
Wow, wow, wow.
week. I don't know if they are actually of the week. But I wanted to talk about 3D printers. I wanted to have one for a very, very, very long time. Very, very long time. And I just remembered again, and now we have one here in the office.
You
right?
just remember that we have one in the office?
No, sorry.
It's standing over there.
Yeah, it's standing over there. No, I just remembered that I want to talk about it because I needed so long to actually convince myself to buy this 3D printer, or not this, a 3D printer. I was thinking about it for 2 years, and I think now, I bought it 9 months ago, and it's not that I use it every day, obviously not, but it's so nice to have one. They are so cheap by now. And just the option to I need a thing for something.
To mount giant speakers onto a C-stand.
To mount
which I find very unsanitary and...
exactly, or a TV on a C-stand, or...
I don't like that either.
or anything else. It's just nice to have a 3D printer and being able to print things. Independently, if you design it yourself, or if you then use a model that you can download from the internet, and it all got so simple.
That reminds me, I still don't have access to the 3D printer.
The password is in the one password.
Yeah, but you need to confirm it on your account because it has the two-factor thingy. I can't get in.
Okay, maybe we discuss this outside of the recording. But really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will let you into our 3D printer.
Thank you.
What is your wow?
It's not as DIY. Well, maybe a little bit. It's the Infuse app. So for those who like to watch movies at home with ripped media, not downloaded. For the longest time, I've been using...
Media of questionable sources.
No.
No.
I have Blu-rays.
Okay.
And a Blu-ray player. I actually do have. Quality is still better.
If you are not ripped off in the Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, that's true, because there's terrible Blu-ray versions, but that's a different topic. I used Plex for many, many years, and I also tried out Jellyfish. And I did not like those too much, but then I came across Infuse, and it's an Apple-only streaming app, with your local media, and it doesn't need a media server. It just streams off SMB shares, which I also think is kind of nice. So you don't need to have a server running. And it is the only app that I ever used that on Apple TV supports Atmos. I know you can get it working on Plex, but I never managed to do that. And it works. When the little Atmos logo was glowing on my receiver, I was like, and it sounds so much better. So if you're looking for a media playing app on Apple TV or iOS or just Apple devices in general, and you don't want to deal with a media server, Infuse is great. And it syncs your viewing history, but it doesn't sync the library, which is a bit of a weird thing because you don't have a media library. So every device that you connect to the shares will scan, and the metadata might be different, but it will remember that you watched the latest episode of The Penguin, even if you completely delete everything because it's within the Infuse account thing. Saves it in iCloud. It's a good app. I recommend it.
Okay, so I think we wow out, right?
We wow out.
I'm not sure if we should keep all these wows, but for now it's still funny. Okay, wow out.
Wow out.
The audience.
Yes. We're off to the Toto shop around the corner.
To get new toilets.
And get blown away by them, right? Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode.